This is your home, your market, your move, and this is the Cerretani Team's podcast on real estate. Welcome back. So today we are going to talk a little bit about interior design. We have a few awesome topics. Jenna Goulart is with us from the Cerretani Team, and Tina Lynch is here from the Cerretani Team. So Tina is going to help us understand cabinetry, right? Mm-hmm. So I needed some pictures from a very visual person, so we're going to flash some pictures up as you talk about this. So cabinetry has changed a bit over the years.
It has. We've got your overlay cabinet doors, you've got your inlay cabinet doors, and your partial or half-lay cabinet doors.
Okay.
And these cabinet doors are for kitchen cabinets or even vanities for the bathroom.
Okay.
So the differences are the inlay cabinetry doors is when the cabinet is flush to the cabinet door. And it's a streamlined look, it's a classic look, and it's also expensive because they have to be custom into the face of the cabinet. But it's a beautiful look. And hinges, depending on the door that you get, can be seen or does not have to be seen. Also depends on the design that you pick. The overlay door is when the cabinet door completely covers the face of the cabinetry. And that's the most common, the most cost-effective one. And they're beautiful. And again, the hinges, sometimes depending on the design that you pick of the door, the hinges will be seen or not seen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you have the half lay or the partial lay is when the door of the cabinet sits just on top of the opening of the cabinet door, and there's 1 to 2 inches of space in between each door.
So when you say lay, it's like the way the cover of the cabinet sits on the box.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
Because sometimes they can be completely covered.
Which is the overlay.
Which is the overlay. And then the partial one is...
when it's just on top of the opening of the cabinet
Of the
box.
cabinet, perfect. Okay.
Which 1 to 2
So is there
inches in
any
between.
one particular one that is in style for 2026?
Well, the overlay is in style always. It's the most cost-effective. The half lay and partial lay are completely outdated. You see those in most 90s and 80s homes.
Okay.
So they're outdated. The inlay is the most beautiful.
And what do you mean by inlay?
Inlay is when the cabinet door is flush to the face of the cabinet. So it's like a streamline.
Oh, so very kind of more contemporary.
It is contemporary, depending on the door panel you pick.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have like a traditional colonial home, you wouldn't necessarily have that.
You can if you pick a traditional or contemporary door.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it depends on the door. You can have any inlay you want of the three. I don't recommend partial or half lay because they're outdated. But the full lay and the inlay, you can have any type or style of door you want for the look of your home.
What if you do have an outdated cabinet? Say it's white, and we always say white is timeless, right? What can you do to that cabinetry to make it not, without having to buy all new cabinet doors?
If it's a half lay or partial lay,
Yeah.
then you can take that door off and you can get insert cabinet doors custom to be inlay. Or you can get new doors to be overlay.
All right, so you'd have to buy all new doors.
Just the doors.
Yeah, you can keep the boxes.
Exactly, if they're in great shape.
Okay. All right, well, that's not too bad, I guess, right?
When you have clients that have refrigerators and they do the face of the refrigerator to match their cabinets, so sometimes you don't even know if that's the fridge, is there a certain cabinetry that falls under?
It would be the same cabinet, obviously, as the rest of the space, but it would be an overlay.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Which is a beautiful look.
Yeah, people can't find the fridge.
Yeah.
I remember when I was dating Joe, I remember going to his parents' house for the first time, and I'm like thinking to myself, they don't have a refrigerator. This is weird.
They have lots of cabinets,
They have lots of cabinets because they had that, and I was like, and then he opened the door, and I'm like, oh, that's your refrigerator? It was a step up for me, I guess, with the times.
Yeah. So those are your 3 styles or types of doors.
Yeah.
And like I said, you can have any type of or style of door you want with any of these.
So when you're thinking about current day, 2026, what is the most, the biggest color for your cabinets right now?
Right now is wood, going back to the good old oak.
Oh,
is,
wow.
is so on trend right now.
That's great. So if you have an 80s kitchen
Yeah.
and you have oak,
Keep
there's
it.
so- right? You can keep it, but it still kind of looks dated though, doesn't it?
It does if the door panel has that oval
Trim,
little
yeah.
arch
Yeah.
to it, if you want to call it, and if it's a half or partial lay door.
Okay.
So you can take that door off, keep the base if they're in great shape,
Yeah.
and then go get measurements. Have a kitchen place do it for you to get inlay doors or overlay doors.
And
in
then
the
to
same
do it
colors.
cheaper, I mean, could you just go to Home Depot and do your own measurements, right?
You can.
Or Lowe's or
You can
whatever.
if you're handy that way.
Yeah, everyone isn't. I mean, I would not do it because I don't measure anything correctly. It seems like I'm always off by something or another. Well, that's great. So when you think about the cabinets, and so let's stay with the kitchen, what does hardware look like on these cabinets?
Beautiful. You can use any kind of hardware you want. You can use knobs.
But what's in?
Knobs. I feel like knobs are always on, and gold.
So no handles?
I'm seeing a lot of knobs lately.
Really? Any particular color? Like what about black versus brushed nickel versus gold?
If it's a satin black, you're in good shape. Matte black, no, because it tends to tarnish unless you go with a high end, like Kohler
Yeah.
or Moen.
Okay.
Faucet that is. Brush gold, chrome, everything's really in style except for that matte black.
The matte black,
The
because
matte
it
black.
doesn't last very well.
No, it
Okay.
turns colors and it shows fingerprints.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Okay. And what about countertops?
Well, we all know I love quartz.
Right.
Because it's durable and it's scratch and heat and stain water resistant
Yep.
and maintenance free. Taj Mahal is very popular, but be careful if you're going to look for a Taj Mahal countertop, because you've got your gray Taj Mahal and you've got your creams and browns Taj Mahal. So just be careful and make sure you always look at the slab place before you go and
Yeah, they do.
pick
They
it
do
out.
vary for sure.
Because these little tiny samples is not what you're going to get
But-
on
right.
your countertop.
Yeah, you need to look at the whole slab they're going to actually cut from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally
exactly.
agree with you. Yeah, 100%. All right, that's great. Well, that's a great kitchen update.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. I actually never realized there was so much detail to these cabinetries. I just thought I would look at it and say, oh, I like it.
Inlay, overlay, and partial lay.
Right. Okay, so let's move to the living room. I don't think we've really talked much about the living room. What are some design features that when you're looking at a living room that you want to focus on?
Well, of course, you want to first look at the focal point. May it be a fireplace or a window that has a good view to it, or even a TV in some cases.
Or artwork,
Yeah,
maybe?
artwork, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the flow. You got to make sure you're not walking into furniture. So once you get your furniture where you know where it's going to be and the size that you're going to have, something that most people don't think about is the legs of your furniture.
Oh,
Yes, I mean, there's furniture that has the legs in all different sizes and lengths, and then there's furniture that is to the floor. So if you have your living room, for example, and all the furniture, meaning the sofa, the chairs, the coffee table, the end tables, whatever other furniture you're putting in there, if it's all on legs, it tends to look too open and you're focusing on the sticks of the legs, and your eye really has no place to stop.
oh,
It's just like
interesting.
looking through the legs onto the floor. So, and if you have all of the furniture pieces that I just mentioned to the floor, then the room feels really heavy and too grounded. So I like to do a mix, half and half. So half the furniture should be on legs and half the furniture should be to the floor for a
Okay.
streamlined.
So, like, what if you're
beautiful
buying a
look.
set, though? Like, you have your Luxy.
Do not buy sets.
Oh, Tina doesn't like sets.
No bedroom sets, no dining room sets, no living room sets, because you want a curated look.
Now,
So
when-
I would start with your sofa, and then I would go and get your chairs in a different section of the furniture store or another furniture store, and figure out what you want to have on legs and what you don't want to have. It's up to the client, as long as it's 50-50.
So I always think about the tables all have legs.
Some don't if you have an ottoman
Oh,
for a
that's
coffee
true.
table.
Okay, right.
Some of them are to the floor.
Okay, that's a good point. So when you say don't do sets, can you do a matching chair and couch?
I recommend doing the couch as one, And doing matching chairs.
Matching chairs?
Not to the couch, but the 2 chairs are matching.
What if you only have room in your living room for one chair?
Then you do a chair, one chair in its own pattern or fabric, and then you do the couch in a different.
Ah, okay.
Because if you have sets, it just tends to look, in my opinion, boring.
Boring and heavy probably too, because it's
Yeah.
like a lot of one color.
And pay attention to the arms of the sofa that you're choosing and the chairs. A lot of these sofas have big rollout arms.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
they
Yeah.
take up so much space.
Right, each rollout arm could be about 6 inches, and you lose almost a foot of space.
Right.
So-
that's a good point.
Do you think it's important to stick with the same kind of fabric? So from the couch to the chair, or completely different?
Oh, completely different,
Different.
because texture is great.
Well, you don't want to
Yeah.
do 2 different patterns.
Well, it all depends. I mean, I like to have the sofa be one pattern, and then you can have some fun on the chair and have a patterned chair. If
You mean
wanted
like
to.
one color, like a solid color?
It could be a tone-on-tone pattern, like a chevron tone-on-tone, or
Okay.
but it all depends. I like to have, like I said, my sofa be one solid color,
Yeah.
and then I like to have my chair be, have
Like
a
your
little fun.
accent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
exactly. And every room I design comes from inspiration. You could say, "Hey, Tina, design my my living room around your blouse. Here's my color palette." Very easy.
Go with that.
And go with that. You can start the inspiration from your piece of artwork, a rug, a pillow,
Like your favorite piece.
anything. Anything. That's where I take my clients. Let's go shopping for that inspiration piece. And I just run with it.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, talk to me about blinds versus curtains. Because people do like to have some privacy at night. So, you typically want to have a blind in the window so you can just close the blinds at night. But you don't like blinds.
I do not like blinds. Vertical blinds, no.
Oh, well, no. I mean,
I'm okay with the wood slat blinds.
okay.
I'm okay with those because they do offer the privacy that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm a drape gal. And I know when you hear the word drape, some people might think of the old grandma drapes when you got the whirly swirlies up on
Yeah.
top and then the panels down
Right.
on each side. No, I'm talking about sleek drapes that just touch the floor, puddles maybe slightly, and half an inch off the floor is as far as I'll go off the floor. And I would go all the way up to about 6 inches past the top of the window frame.
Okay. 6 inches.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then at least 6 to 8 inches.
Kind of like that?
Yeah.
6 to 8 inches wide past the window frame. So that makes the room look elevated,
Yeah.
the window look big. And in some instances, I'm okay with taking that curtain rod all the way up to the ceiling, like I have at my house.
Yeah.
High and wide.
Yeah.
Interesting.
For the
Makes the room
drapes.
feel so big.
Yeah, and if you aren't going to do, say, blinds or slats for privacy, you can double up on the panels and just close them at night. Get the blackout panels.
Yeah, that's true.
So you would put in a bedroom, in a living room,
Anywhere
anywhere for curtains, you would
She
put
puts them
6
in the
inches
bathrooms.
up.
I have drapes in my bathroom.
Of course you do.
I know. I still can't wrap my head around that. Well, actually, in my bathrooms, it just doesn't work. There's no space for them. But
Yeah, if that's the case, you can do
Yeah.
a custom Roman blind,
Okay.
which is fabric, and those are very nice. And you do it inside the frame of the window.
yeah.
Now, curtains matching. So you have, say you have your dining room that flows into, I don't know, maybe like a sitting room or something. Would you match your curtains in
If
that room?
If it's all one open space, absolutely.
Okay. And then if you have guest bedrooms, do you match your guest bedrooms the same furniture and same blinds?
You don't have to at all. You can do each one.
Because they're separate
Different.
rooms.
Yeah, each room
Totally
different.
different rooms.
Yeah, so remember, when you're hanging up your drapes, high and wide.
Right. That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
So, I mean, my rule of thumb is here's the window frame, here's the ceiling, go right in the middle or take it to the top,
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
always 6 inches above the windowsill.
at least.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and 6 inches on each side wide, wider than the frame
Mm-hmm.
of the window.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
I'm gonna have to go restring all my curtains in.
I know,
right?
That's what I've been doing over the last few years.
Because of me.
Because of Tina. She's got some great ideas. You're always so helpful. Any particular color trends in 2026? I feel like gray is gone. I know we talked about this in another
Yeah.
episode. Do you still see that? Like it's still like the grayish, warm
Yeah, we're definitely into the warmth, the browns,
browns, cream.
creams,
Green is really,
soft greens,
Yeah.
earthy greens. But if you do have cool walls, like cool gray walls, there are ways to work around it if you don't want to repaint. Just add some warmth, add some warm wood to it.
the wood tones. Yeah.
Wood furniture pieces.
Great.
Yeah.
I love that.
And wood decor.
Okay.
So you can keep your gray walls if you want, your cool gray furniture if you want, but just warm it up a bit with accessories and pillows and artwork.
What do you think about, I'm going to catch you off guard. What about rugs? So if we're talking about you put up your curtains and they're a neutral palette, and then you have pretty much a neutral palette with your sofa, and then you have like a fun accent chair, but it's still like neutral-ish colors. What would you do for an accent for a rug? Like color, would you still keep that neutral? Would you add colors in? Would you add like a
Depends on the
design?
client, and well, it depends on the client. And getting back to that accent chair, is it a patterned accent chair?
No, God,
It's a
no.
solid. Well, it depends on the client. If the client says, Tina, everything looks great, but I want a little pattern, I'd put it on the rug.
Okay,
But if they don't want pattern, then I would get a really nice textured rug.
I was just gonna say
Because
okay.
texture, if you're not going to do a lot of pattern and a lot of change in colors, then texture is the way to go.
Okay.
Do some silk, do some velvet, do some boucle, do some linen,
That's great.
Yeah, good
I love
advice.
that.
all in one room.
What is a design no for 2026? Like if you a new construction, like in something that you've seen, and you're like, why are they doing that?
Boob lights for the ceiling.
Oh my gosh, I know. The boob lights.
The boob lights.
I know.
I wish builders would stop using them, and flippers.
There's a lot. I know they're really cheap,
Yes.
and that's why they like them. But there's a lot of nice alternatives now. They're
Oh.
like really getting rid of those. And I think once the big box stores get rid of them, we'll be in better shape.
They'll have no choice.
They won't
They're
have any,
gone.
right? Exactly. I know. It's so funny.
Yeah,
I know
so
it.
boob lights is
Lighting is so important.
it is.
I know that you staged a new construction home a couple of months ago, and the light fixtures were they were really different. They were really, really different. And at first we weren't sure, do we like that or do we not like it? It was like very contemporary, very different, very taste specific. Do you think that was a good idea I mean, I'm sure that they weren't cheap lights at all.
Which listing was this?
The one it was the one the new construction one that you just did.
Oh, yeah. I worked with it.
Yeah.
They were very contemporary, like you said.
Yeah.
So I added a little bit more contemporary with traditional to make it transitional, and that's what made it work.
Yeah. Okay. But if a builder is doing that, it's kind of a risque kind of thing to do something so taste specific.
It is. It is.
Right.
And when builders ask me for my advice, I say just stick with the neutrals.
Yeah.
Stay away from boob lights, as we talked about. Stay away from matte black,
Right.
and go towards the warmer colors.
And would you say light fixtures, you'd want to try to keep it more glass
No.
and gold, or like what would you recommend for just average neutral light fixtures?
Yeah, what about in bedrooms?
The
Like for a
drum.
neutral light fixture?
You know, the light fixtures, the ceiling light fixtures that have the drum.
Yeah.
Stick with the drum.
Yeah, the
That's
drum
classic.
is a good.
It's
okay.
classic.
Yeah.
So a lot of people aren't going to like the crystals. They're not going to like the
Yes,
Sputnik
right.
style chandeliers.
Right.
Or the lantern chandeliers. But
Yeah.
just stick with the drums.
Because those are very neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Great. Well, this has been a great session, Tina. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Love having you here.
Love being here.
And we get a lot of hits on our design podcast, so I'm looking forward to creating some more with you.
Me too.
All right, we'll see you guys next time. This is your home, your market, your move, and this is the Cerretani Team's podcast on real estate.